different world.
Everybody out on the fence.
With its own rules. Often justice in their own hands.
In there, in the pool, we drown the sex offenders.
Zero tolerance.
Back to your cells.
Gangs. Violence. Drugs.
You can get all drugs inside.
And harassment.
I did it to make it tough.
And inhumane conditions. All this behind bars. In the toughest prisons in the world. Nights are the worst when you have to lie on the floor like an animal. Jammed together and turning over, allowed only on command.
Come on, turn around.
I never seen a worse place like this before in my life. No.
3,000 prisoners and space for only 900. One of the toughest jails in the world.
To be imprisoned here in Madagascar is pretty much the worst thing that can happen to anybody.
The guards are only equipped with antiquated carbines, rusty machine guns, and worn-out nightsticks or cudgels. But they also have a place that all inmates fearfully call the hellhole.
You get sick in there. I could hardly breathe for the stench. I had to lie between pools of my own urine and my own excrement. Terrible.
The hygienic conditions, intolerable. The inmates live among heaps of garbage, with cockroaches, rats. Lice and fleas.
I'm scared of catching the plague, or leprosy, or some other terrible disease. I'm afraid I'll die in here.
This jail is also home to women with babies, among trash and vermin, with no special treatment.
You can't raise a child here. The babies constantly contract new diseases.
It is a fight for survival in Antananarivo, the toughest jail in East Africa. Madagascar is one of the poorest and least developed countries in the world. Average wage, less than $33 per month. The crime rate is growing rapidly. And the spread of diseases is a problem too. This is one of the last regions in the world where the plague, also known as Black Death, still exists. Especially in crowded areas, like in the capital city, Antananarivo, population 2 million, in the heart of the island's largest city. Overcrowding, suffering, despair. The Maison Centrale Antananarivo, a prison with an infamous reputation, known by its inmates as the horror jail. It is the main prison of Africa's desperately poor island state of Madagascar. "11 a.m. The new prisoners arrive. Pickpockets, crooks, murderers, rapists. The jail's daily criminal intake. And the procedure is the same for all. Likewise for this newcomer. Admission in the guard room of Antananarivo. Moraniria Rakoto Arisoa is the duty officer, the superintendent. The 39-year-old frisks the new inmate thoroughly, for weapons, drugs, mobile phone. But there is nothing but fear, and his whole body is trembling. First, he must hand over his belt.
That's got to stay here. He could use it to injure other prisoners or commit suicide. It will be registered here in our logbook, and he'll get it back when he's released.
If he can find it. Ricardo is hardly aware of what's happening to him. He is here because of theft and totally confused.
I'm scared. It's my first time here.
An auxiliary guard leads Ricardo to his cell block. The new arrival has no idea how long he will have to remain. He is in pre-trial detention. Around 700 prisoners are locked up with him in this one block alone. 3 times as many as there should be.
I don't know what to think yet. I've only just arrived. Maybe I'll meet somebody I know.
As every inmate in Antananarivo, he is also assigned to a group dormitory. There are no individual cells in one of the world's toughest prisons, and certainly no bed for a newcomer. Ricardo will have to sleep on the floor.
We've just got too many prisoners. They suffer because of it, and there's no solution. The way it works right now is that you only get a place up there when another prisoner is released.
Hard. It's hard.
Every dormitory has a cell boss or manager, who is likewise an inmate. He explains the rules to the newcomer.
We demand mutual respect. No drugs, no brawls, no booze. Food at 3 p.m. At 5, everybody back in the cell. Curfew at 8. Be smart, don't make any trouble. There are just too many of us in here.
Too many inmates. Far too many. One of Antananarivo's major problems. Around 3,000 prisoners are locked up here in the center of Madagascar's capital. Originally built to house 800, all 5 blocks are drastically overcrowded. Petty criminals, political prisoners, serious felons, all packed together. More than 50% of the inmates have yet to be convicted. According to the Red Cross, they can sit here awaiting trial for up to 5 years. In order to maintain some kind of overview of the mass of people, there's a head count several times a day, conducted by hand, with pen and paper. The number of prisoners is then noted on a chalkboard and in a logbook. The entire accounting process is chaotic and hopelessly antiquated.
What you see here behind me is our archive. We don't have any computers, only some old typewriters we hardly ever use. We've got nothing. We just keep on doing what we've always done. Here, for instance, are the books from the 70s and 80s. What else are we supposed to do?
What represents an administrative problem for the guards is sheer torture for the inmates, since overcrowding makes any privacy impossible, especially at night. 5 p.m. Roll call in East Africa's toughest jail. The prisoners gather in the largest block, then it's off to the cells, the hours most of them dread.
The rapes are unbearable. Men rape other men in there. I'm terrified it will also happen to me.